welcome back to another episode of Cut the Cake. And first and foremost, Happy New Year to all of our listeners.
Happy New Year indeed.
This is your Real Talk podcast on everything wedding planning in Australia for engaged couples and our wedding industry friends. My name is Melanie. I'm a wedding planner, owner of Melly Rain Creative, and hello, Tanya from Event Wonder Co.
Hello. Happy New Year indeed.
Ooh, how exciting.
It is. It's 2026 finally, which is, very exciting indeed, particularly for anyone getting married this year because it is your year.
Yeah, Christmas is over, New Year's is done, back into wedding planning.
Exactly. And for those of you who have been putting it off going, we're not getting married till next year.
Guess what?
Has to kind of change. That's
now.
That's happening now. So, yeah, fun and games.
I know, right? So we thought, cliche perhaps. However, we wanted to start the year with a bit of a prediction of 2026 wedding trends, what's in, what's out, what we can see coming, because it just seems to be the thing that we wanted to do.
And it's a great way to start the year as well because a lot of things are coming up in 2026. And if you caught our Christmas episode, you will know exactly what that is. I won't allude to anything more than that. Just go and listen to our Christmas episode from a few weeks ago. And yeah, I'm actually really excited to see what 2026 brings.
Yeah.
Because obviously we're about to talk into what we think is coming and what we know is coming based on the back end of last year.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously there's also a lot of things that can happen in 12 months and things can change. So
yeah. Well, I wanted to sort of start with a couple of things first. First and foremost, trends, while we are using the word trends, I think a thing to keep in mind is that a trend to me is to help you inspire what you could possibly do for your wedding. It doesn't mean that you have to do these things that you are seeing. A lot of trends come from celebrity weddings, European weddings, people with a lot of money. Yes. And not everyone has a lot of money to spend on their wedding. So take trends with a grain of salt. However, our firm belief between the two of us is that the best wedding is one that's really personalised to a couple.
100%.
So whether that taps into, quote, trends or a particular element that really reflects the couple, take it or leave it. However, yeah, we're going to go through a bit of what's in, what's coming, our hot takes, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 12 months.
Yes.
And if any of these actually come to fruition. So let's have a chat about what we think is in and what's coming.
Yes.
You start, Tanya.
All right. So I think probably one of the big ones, and I know you will talk into this as well as a stylist, but the concept of intentional design. Mm-hmm. And I love this, and I actually kind of refer this to the old adage of when you're getting dressed to go out and you're accessorising and you put everything on that you want to wear and then you take half of it off. And I feel like we're probably kind of past that whole more. And we're now at a concept of less is more.
Yeah.
And it's more about the intentions that we are trying to set in terms of our styling, in terms of the elements that we're creating. Like for me, it's very much intentional design when we come to stationery and signage. I know I'm personally doing more custom work, which I absolutely love, instead of creating standardized templates and designs that anyone can purchase, which there's still always going to be a market for those. There are people who are going to be wanting that because it's easy. But then there also is a huge market now for that whole intentional, this is us, this is bespoke, it's one of a kind, it's a keepsake. No one is ever going to have this same design. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing, particularly with the event companies and the stylists and all that, seeing what their creations are going to be in terms of this intentional styling, because it also challenges us from a creative point of view for those florists, for stylists as well, but also, for stationers. How do we actually bring this intentional design to life?
Yep, that's a good one. Yep. What about colours?
Oh, my favourite. And I'm really glad to see this because I do love a dark and moody colour, particularly burgundies and the chocolate browns. We were doing a lot of work with those colours in the back end of last year, so coming through our Australian winter into our spring and summer. And I will sit here and say 6 months ago when we went into spring and September and all that type of thing, I thought that as we came into summer, those dark and moody colours would be kind of put to one side and we would be back to the vibrant colours of summer. Yeah. So bringing back your more traditional blues, yellows, pinks, etc. It's bright, it's lovely. But it hasn't happened, and I've been pleasantly surprised because I love working with those colours and doing so many weddings now where we are still sitting with the browns and the maroons.
Yeah.
And the burgundies, I should say, as well, has been absolutely beautiful. And I think they are here to stay at least for the first 6 months of this year. So anyone getting married between now and obviously winter. But then I think we might start to see some bolder colours coming through in the second half of the year as well. So, yeah. Rich colours as opposed to your pastels very much are in.
Have you heard of the 2026 Pantone colour?
Cloud Dancer.
Yeah.
Yes. And look, I've heard so many different people's opinions on this.
What's your opinion?
I love it because I love white.
Yeah.
And I think the thing with Cloud Dancer is it's not pure white.
Mm-hmm.
If you actually look at it, it's a slightly off-white. And there's a particular cardstock colour that I work with which is very similar to Cloud Dancer because it is what I like to call a natural white. It's not overly bleached. It's not overly white or it's just natural.
Yeah.
And it can go with so many different palettes, but because it's just that little bit darker, it's got that little bit of silver in it, it can just elevate and it can be a point of difference. And it's very like people can sit there and go, oh, white's a tone. Like, yes, it is. But it's like people are going to love it. People are going to hate it. People are going to, take whatever they want to from that colour. And I think it's more about how do you actually apply it.
Yep.
Because we've seen it. They've chosen peach before, which is an interesting colour. They've chosen pistachios and magentas and reds and everything.
Yeah.
It's a colour. It's a suggestion.
I think the Pantone colour that comes out every year 100% influences colour palettes in weddings. Like 100% last year, 2025, the colour was like mocha, whatever they called it. We can see that.
Oh, 100%.
That's 100% happened. This might be a little bit whatever, but my opinion with the Cloud Dancer colour, like it's white. There's white in weddings all the time. I don't think it's going to influence weddings as much. No. If anything, it might pare things back a little bit. I don't think we're going to see as many bold colours coming into the second half of 2026. Totally the chocolate browns and the burgundies are still here and I love them, but I reckon they're going to strip away to come the end of 2026 and people are going to strip back to more of those muted tones.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Interesting. I was going to mention something that I think is coming and it's started, but I think we're going to see more of it, is more I guess maybe like dramatic may not be the right word, but more emphasis on accessories in terms of bridal wear.
Yes.
So I'm seeing a lot of veils with hoods and scarves. Like I had a wedding in December where her accessory was a scarf and it's so beautiful and long. It was like 6 meters long or something and it looked stunning. And I'm seeing more and more of like those hooded veils. I'm seeing lots of ruffles as well. So maybe not heaps at the moment, but I reckon that's going to come in more and more and more in terms of like dresses and particularly like reception dresses, like those fun party dresses.
And also into the styling side of it, like I've seen an uptake in ruffled skirts for your tablecloths, particularly for things like your cake tables and everything, like those beautiful ruffles coming through that subtle, slight styling design is awesome.
Yep. Something that I've personally seen in the first half of the season and I can see happening more and more for 2026 is there's such a big emphasis with couples, particularly ones that I'm working with, around more mingling and less formalities. So I have so many discussions with couples around, what formalities do you want to include on the day? And the question back to me is always like, well, what is there? I go list basically the traditional formalities that you can include on your wedding day, and half of them I get heads shaking going, no, don't want it, don't want it, don't want it. So they're more wanting that mingling side of things, like longer cocktail hours and less sit down. And, I'm even encouraging people to, move away from seated speeches and do the speeches, not all of them, but a couple of them at least, standing around the dance floor or something like that. So it feels more informal and you can kind of move around a little bit and, at the end of it, you're just standing, you can keep mingling. You don't have to, get back to your meal or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing that a lot and I think that's going to be more and more in this coming year as well.
It's almost like we're at this point where whilst we have this traditional mindset of the way a wedding should be, which is possibly generational as well, we now have the ability to turn it on its head and everyone is a little bit more adaptive.
Yep.
And I think that's possibly coming out of those years where things did get turned on our heads in terms of life and we got, forced with something that was forced to face something that was very unexpected and unpredictable. And now unpredictability with things like weather and everything doesn't scare us as much.
It scares me.
I know it scares us in terms of the wedding industry, but we also are very smart and have plans.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, I had a couple who I was working with in October, and the week leading into their wedding day, obviously they had a wet weather plan. And on the day, their event, yes, things did happen, it did rain, but they actually turned the whole timesheet on its head. And they ended up doing, because they wanted their ceremony to be outside, it was on a private property, it was on a family home. They ended up doing all of their speeches and everything before the actual ceremony itself.
Yep.
Because they were like, well, thankfully our celebrant's here, she's the MC, happy days, we'll just wait until the weather clears to do the ceremony outside. And if it means that we do it at night, we do it at night.
Yep.
No one's sitting here telling us that we have to do our speeches at this particular point in time.
Yep.
So a little bit of flexibility almost is kind of like having that in the back of your mind that things can change.
What about photography? Any thoughts on that?
I do, and I think you and I are probably seeing this a lot given the photographers that we work with, but I feel like that there is that push towards that more editorial style, and I love it. To me, it feels more considered, and it's very much the creating those beautiful memories that you can actually be happy and have, beautiful photos up in your home. Not saying that anything from the past is the same, but I feel like that's where a lot of photographers are moving in that direction towards that editorial style because that's what people are demanding at the moment. So, yeah.
And I think, again, a lot of that's coming from celebrity weddings and weddings in Europe and that particular style of photography that they're seeing and going, I want that. How do I get that?
It is the Instagram effect because we want everything to be Instagram worthy and I think that's a pride thing too at the end of the day. It's, as I said, I love it.
Yeah.
I can't really say anything against it.
Another planning side of things that I think we will see more and more of, I haven't done too many of these, but I know it's been around for 6 months or so now, probably since European summer, is those serpient, however you want to call them, those tables, the windy snake-looking ones that are round or even like a mixture. Like I'm seeing, say under a marquee, a few that are long tables and then a few round tables just to sort of make it a little bit more mix match, separate sort of eating areas. So I think people are wanting to steer away from that long table look and adding a little bit more of an interactive style of dining.
100%. And I feel like with those serpent tables too, because I love them as well, like the concept of them. I feel it actually softens the aesthetic.
Yeah, agree.
Because you've got these beautiful curves. So as opposed to having your long, straight, rectangular tables, sharp edges, which do have its place and people love that too.
Yeah.
These serpent tables they can form these beautiful patterns. And I think if you've ever seen any of the aerial photos that have been taken of these setups, where you do have the round tables just fitting into the beautiful curvatures of the serpent tables, they're an artwork in itself from above. Like it's not just what you're seeing directly in front of you. You've got to get that aerial view of them at the same time because they look amazing.
Yeah. And again, from a styling perspective, like that is the feature. Like you don't need to add too much to the table to give it much more of a wow factor because it's already got that beautiful aesthetic to it. The final thing that I wanted to touch on, which obviously I need to mention, and it's a given anyway, we've had our Christmas episode where I dived into everything Tay related for her wedding and my predictions, but we know that anything that she does for her wedding is going to shape the wedding industry moving forward
100%.
in terms of style. People are going to see what she has and want it. So whenever her wedding is, that is going to change the, quote, trends moving forward. But I think we should touch on
what is out.
What is out?
What is gone?
I've got a couple of little things that I reckon. Well, I don't know if they're totally out, but they're probably more what I would like to see gone. But what about you?
I'm probably the same. So I think for me, particularly coming from my point of view as a stationer, I feel like acrylic signage is on its way out, has had its moment. It's not to say that it still doesn't have its place it is kind of the material that we need to use to achieve certain effects.
Yeah.
But I think from a sustainability point of view, it's not as good as some other ones.
Yep.
From an actual keepsake point of view, also not as great as moving into more linen and fabric.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think as our industry evolves and our ability to create and to design and to print changes and up levels, we're going to be seeing more movement towards different textures, different ways of creating stuff, all that type of thing. So, yeah, like as much as I love it, and as I said, it does have its place to achieve certain aesthetics.
Yep.
I do feel like the requests for it, slowly
I agree.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about the material now.
And material is so much fun. Like it's gone gangbusters, and I'm here for it in so many different ways. And I think probably my big thing that I would love to see next year is our ability to go across all different types of fabric. Like at the moment we can do velvet, we can do linen, we can do satin. So it's just kind of, what else can we potentially do moving forward?
Awesome.
Yeah. What are you thinking though?
Well, the biggest thing that I think is out, I think champagne towers have been on the way out for a little bit. People are looking for more alternative ways to do something like that, like whether it's like tiramisu towers or spritz towers or anything like that. I think the tower structure itself is also on its way out. People are being a little bit more creative in different like levels of the bar and stuff like that. I think the biggest thing that I am seeing, and like I know quite a few of my couples are doing this, is we'll call it like not cookie cutter ceremonies, like the amount of couples that are doing private signings either before or after the ceremony and then having the ceremony managed, I suppose, or run by a friend or a family member. So many people that I know are doing that. And I think that's going to be potentially something that we're going to see more and more. So that traditional ceremony side of things, I think that's on this way out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I think one for me too, which given the title of our podcast, Cut the Cake, is kind of intriguing, but I feel like almost the traditional fondant cakes it's a 50-50. People are still having them. But then, as we have mentioned on previous episodes, we've got the mille feuillage, as they were called.
I think they're on their way out.
Too, yeah. Everything has its moment.
Yeah.
So I feel like, the cake space is almost,
that
a
evolves
cake. It evolves, yeah. And
year.
depending on what people's dessert tastes are at the same time as well. So there's no written hard and fast rule that you must have a wedding cake.
Mm-hmm.
A dessert bar might be all you need.
Yeah.
So I feel like cakes and all that type of thing, it's more a personal choice at the end of the day. There's no dictated, this is what you have to have.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Cool. We're so in sync.
We are very in sync.
Okay, so they're our predictions. That's what we think's in, what might be coming, what we hope is out, to be honest. But I'm sure people listening have got their own takes of what they think is coming or what they would like to see out. So if you do, send us a DM on Instagram. What are we? At Cut the Cake Podcast.
That's us.
Or you can get in touch with Tanya at Event Wanderer Co. or myself at Melly Rain Creative. And yeah, just let us know.
We're excited I think also for 2026, I'm just excited to see what people's creativity inspires.
Yeah.
Because I think from both of points of view, myself as a stationer and you as a stylist, it's people's creativity and out-of-the-box thinking that challenges us. And that's what makes our jobs fun.
Yep, absolutely.
We will, in that case, we'll wrap it up, but we will see you all again shortly.